100%. 100%. Yo, what's up, everyone? It's V-Sips. Welcome to the channel. We're in here for a brand new video in my gaming backlog series covering games I beat from 2025 and onward. This episode is how I beat 75 games so far, and within the next 6 weeks, we're going to have some videos pertaining to my 2025 backlog wrapping that up. If you're excited, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, never a single upload or live stream here on the main V-Sips channel. You consider joining our community, the 100% click that I mentioned earlier. You get exclusive perks, emotes, our exclusive Discord, and more for supporting the channel. So now it's time to go over how I beat over 75 games so far in 2025. Starting off for this, we are picking back up right where we last left off in the last video. I ended up playing another game on my Switch 2, something that I originally played on the Switch 1, but never beat, called Time UFO, made by HAL Laboratory, y'all know for Kirby, Box Boy, Smash Bros, and more. It's a really unique puzzle game where you're on Earth trying to save the day, and in doing so, you're doing it by stacking various things, from cheerleaders to parts of bones of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and so much more, without damaging any pieces, without hurting anyone. And you go through each of these levels trying to stop an antagonist called the Culprit, and they have little enemies that work for them that look similar to Starfy, but just evil. The game is pretty fun. The final 3 levels, the last final portion of the game, it's pretty fun. It finally gives you a little decent challenge compared to the rest of the game, and I felt it was pretty fun. The game was short yet sweet, and it didn't overstay its welcome either. Next up is Disney Speedstorm. Disney Speedstorm is the game I got to play thanks to the homie Baby Boy, aka Boss Naffy. We got to play together on the PS5 originally. I played more of it on PS5 as well as the Switch 2 when the Switch 2 version came out, and I enjoyed the actual core gameplay a lot, the actual layout of the racetrack designs a lot, the wide variety of characters to play as within the entire universe that Disney has acquired over the years. But the microtransactions are just way too much, way too microtransaction heavy. I docked it a few points off of how greedy it is, like Scrooge McDuck levels of greed. It's very cringe, but I only paid to play as one specific character, and I felt that was worth the 10 plus hours of game time that I put into the game. I had a lot of fun with the online solos to online team battle and co-op with friends, and even making new friends online too. It was a great time, but the core gameplay and the microtransactions is a real double-edged sword with Speedstorm, that's for sure. Next up is Biolab Wars. Biolab Wars is a game that's been trapped in my backlog and my gaming library since 2019, and I finally beat it in 2025. Now, for those who know, I'm obviously recording a couple videos back to back to back, so the games that I'm talking about in this video, I beat from between late May, early June till mid-August within this video for the 75 games beat so far. Spoiler for the next video, I beat 100 games for the year, which my goal was 88. I ended up beating 100, which was perfect, especially for the 100% click community. Don't forget to subscribe and join as a member. But yeah, Biolab Wars has that classic Contra vibe. If you enjoy Contra, any game similar as well, you definitely should give Biolab Wars a chance. It's usually on sale often, and it's a pretty affordable indie game. And there's even some really cool characters you get to play as, including a dog in a mech suit, which is really fun. Next up is Desert Child. This is another game that was also trapped in my backlog by 2019, maybe even before 2019, I believe. I bought it back in the day because I thought it looked super sick. I thought it looked really cool with its aesthetic and the setting of the game, which really caught my attention. Yes, it's in a desert, and you play as your character, and you try to race in multiple different races just to make some money, just to get by so you'll be able to eat. Literally, you're trying to make money to eat. You're trying to make money to fix up your ride. You're going through a lot on Earth in the year 2071, and you need to succeed in hoverbike racing just to get by in life. And you really try your best, and the objective to move from the Earth to go to Mars. That's where everyone's migrating. and you have to go and compete in the Grand Prix in first place. And as you progress through the game, you'll be seeing all kinds of captivating art, scenic areas. It's really cool, and the soundtrack fits the vibe also. Next up, the House of Fata Morgana. It piqued my interest the moment I knew about it, back when so many critics were giving the game 10 out of 10, back to back to back. The #1 most rated game on the Switch won. And I was so fond of this game, I wanted to get the game, the collector's edition. And I did back when I went to Too Many Games. I usually go to Too Many Games every year. So if y'all want to meet me at Too Many Games, I would love to meet y'all sometime. But I picked up the collector's edition there, and I picked up another version that I played on the Switch in Switch 2. And I enjoy some good visual novels, but what I enjoy more than a good visual novel is a good visual novel with interactive gameplay, similar to one of my favorite series, AI Somnia Files. Like the design on this shirt, it's me as Date from that game with Aiba. So if y'all want this cool merch, y'all can check it out in our store. Affordable, comfortable, genuine apparel, 100% click shop. We're gonna have new merch in 2026. But besides that, the House Fata Morgana has really cool gothic style aesthetic with its art. I do want to say that it is more visual novel than it is interactive gameplay visual novel, which I was personally not a fan of. I like a visual novel with more interactive gameplay, but the story here is very peak right after you get through the very first 5 hours, where there's a bit of a very icky scene, to be honest. However, when it comes to visual novels, it is good. No spoilers, but let's just say there's some twists that you have to experience in this for yourself. Next up is a game called GRIS. GRIS is a very video games is art, art is video games type game. It does have incredible music as you explore each of the levels within this really swift platformer. I say swift as the game does have a shorter runtime from about 3 to 4 hours in length. However, what you'll experience in this game is genuinely superb, very symbolic, as every level, as you progress, you gain new colors that become part of the world. And so I felt there's a lot of symbolism in the colors that were recognized and represented. White for denial, red for anger, and I presumed blue is of course for depression. And incorporating all these elements into the game, into the story, how you have to accept pain, I think it was something that many can feel on their path in life. So I recommend y'all give GRIS a chance. It has been on sale pretty often, and it was considered a very pivotal indie game when it released. So I recommend y'all should check it out. It is a bit of a short game, but memorable, very memorable in my opinion. Next up, we got Blasphemous. Now, Blasphemous is an understatement. This game is more like sacrilegious. It's unholy with its brutality. You're gonna play this game, look at it, and think, wow, the pixel art is some of the most beautiful pixel art I've ever seen. Wow, the soundtrack for this game is truly one of a kind. It's so reminiscent of the games and genres it takes inspiration from. And then you realize it really takes inspiration from those games as you get absolutely beat the hell up the whole entire game. Constant times you're trying to make it to the end of a level, fight one of the big bad bosses before you make it to the next area of the game, and then you lose all of your collectibles on the way there and back numerous times. It's pretty tough. However, there is heavy religious themes throughout this game that are set forth from the setting, and the boss fights, like I said, there are huge set pieces that culminate to the peak of the level design as well as the peak of your enjoyment as you overcome them. So it's truly one of the hardest and brutalest games that I've played, and I am excited to give Blasphemous 2 a try, which that's already been out, but there's a lot of games on my backlog that I have to play first. Next up is Astro's Playroom. Now, as you all know, Astrobot was one of the best games of 2024. Many considered it the game of the year. I myself included considered it one of my top games of the year for sure. Definitely game of the year caliber. So Astro's Playroom, I played it when I first got my PS5, and I ended up being just halfway through. I never got to finish it, as I was in a mood to play some Playroom. I was itching to play it, so I gave it a chance because I like Astrobot, so play some Playroom. It should be more of that, and it was more of that. So if you want more Astrobot, and let's say you already played and beat all of the bonus free DLC that came out for that game, and somehow you never played Playroom, play Playroom. It's like 2 or 3 hours at most. It's literally more Astrobot, and the abilities in the game utilize the functions of the PS5 controller perfectly. So it's literally the perfect experience and the perfect form of innovation that people need to see to recognize how cool the DualSense as well as the PS5 actually is. And the team behind this game, Team Asobi, definitely deserve their flowers. And I hope they can create more Astrobot and possibly bring back some other series like Ape Escape, hopefully. Next up is the Ocean Hunter. Now, the Ocean Hunter is made by Sega. You probably never heard of it. It's an old arcade game I got to experience a ton of times growing up as a kid. I really only made it past the first 2 levels. I never made it farther than that. So getting a chance to replay through this arcade game and actually make it to the end was a blast. And obviously, for those who know, in the Yakuza series, they usually bring back a ton of Sega games within the arcades within the game also. So not just in real life arcades growing up, I played it in an arcade in a video game. But yeah, I beat it, made it to the end. I got to experience all of the great monsters of the 7 seas that were in the game, like the Kraken, the Leviathan, encountered the final enemy, Poseidon, and it was pretty cool. It was a little bit repetitive, but I really enjoyed the entire setting of the game, the entire style and setting that the game was presented for itself, even from back then compared to now. Sega, if they had this game as a series, I'd be playing it day one. But to my knowledge, this is the only one. This is the only Ocean Hunter game. And in general, there aren't many shooting gallery games. There aren't many rail shooters these days. So if this game series came back, if there was like a rail shooter boom, that'd be peak. I'd be there. Next is Mecha BREAK. Mecha BREAK, I was there for the closed beta, I was there for the open beta network test, and of course I was there on the official release. And I've had an interest in Mecha BREAK for a while, and I thought the game had extremely smooth gameplay, very smooth. There's a lot of different things I enjoyed, like that smooth gameplay. I felt it was superb, genuinely. It was as smooth as playing Armored Core 6. Armored Core 6 is one of my favorite mech games, and Mecha BREAK, for being what it is, mostly focused on multiplayer, it plays very well, very good. However, that's one of the issues I have. It's strictly, for the most part, multiplayer. They really led us on thinking that there's be some single player stuff with the prologue and how they introduced some characters in it and like a little bit of a story element. And then in the official release of Mecha BREAK, day one, there was no story. Kind of disappointing. And then there's the Operation Storm mode, which outside of the 3v3 deathmatch and 6v6 Verge objective-based multiplayer modes, which those are fun, Operation Storm really wasn't that fun. It was their way of trying to do a PvE, and I was not a fan. The maps that you were able to play on, like M.U.S.H.A, had constant pop-in and issues, and I just was not a fan. I feel like this game let me down in some ways, but was really fun in other ways. So yeah, a bit generous with the score, but I had a lot of fun with what I played. Next is SpongeBob SquarePants, the Cosmic Shake. Now, this is the genuine successor to Battle for Bikini Bottom, which, for those who know, I never played a SpongeBob platformer before the Cosmic Shake. Yes, I never played Battle for Bikini Bottom growing up. I have played some of the SpongeBob games on the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance. I played those, but no. This is my first ever 3D SpongeBob platformer, and I had a great time. There was hilarious dialogue reminiscent of the series. Some of the voice actors reprised their roles, and the actual core story of how there's jelly going on and it warps the reality of places. I felt it was cool, yet I was really kept keeping myself going from the actual fun platforming, and then also the story and the characters that were there, not as much as the antagonist or what's making the story unfold. I preferred everything around it more, but it was pretty fun. I had a great time. The story of Madame Cassandra, you could see it happening from a mile away, which is why I wasn't really as enthralled by, oh, the bad guy is this person. I was more enthralled by all these different characters from the SpongeBob series you interact with, some real funny interactions that happen, and of course the fun gameplay and boss battles too. If you want to go back to Bikini Bottom, if you want to play a SpongeBob 3D platformer, if you enjoyed Battle for Bikini Bottom, give Cosmic Shake a chance. And there's the new one, the new 3D SpongeBob platform that just came out as of the time this video is released. So I need to check that one out ASAP. Next up, we're gonna keep it short and sweet.
Boobs?
10 out of 10. Okay, I'm clearly kidding, but this game is really funny. You'll boot up the game and you'll get immediately jump scared by the game, but more than that, there's numerous online leaderboards of objectives, from the longest time to massage, from the longest period or amount, I should say, the longest or most amount of slaps that you do. It's just insane. To how long you're even playing the game, there's a leaderboard. Who would make a game like this, bro? The fact that it's even a game is insane. Crusin Blast. Crusin USA was my first foray into the Crusin series, so getting a chance to play Crusin Blast many years later was actually a lot of fun because I really enjoyed Crusin USA, and Crusin Blast has a lot more high octane, more crazy elements to the racing formula that's thrown in. And funny enough, this game came out on the Switch 1 in 2021, so I've had it since then, and I would only know that because the last time I played it was back then. It showed me on my cloud save storage. So it was great that I went back to it, played through all the arcade mode tracks. I got gold in every cup, and I had a lot of fun getting all the cash needed to upgrade my ride and upgrading for all the different vehicle settings and more. The gameplay was smooth. I did enjoy the quality difference between a Switch 1 and Switch 2. It does look visually better on Switch 2, and I do wish the internet compatibility with this game was more refined, but overall, a really good racing game. Originally in the arcades around like 2019, finally on console, and it's now amongst a myriad of racing games on the Switch 2 and beyond. Next, we have 50 Cent Blood on the Sand. This is a game that I've known about for a long time. Many people have streamed the game. I've seen many people stream the game, and Blood on the Sand is something I've always wanted to play for myself. It's really crazy that there actually was multiple 50 Cent games at the time. 50 Cent was doing everything to make money back then. He was in every industry. But what's really cool is the variety of hand-to-hand combat you can do in this game, the variety of weapons you can pick up in this game. You can actually use the money you collect in this game to unlock many of these things too, which makes the game very replayable. The soundtrack, of course, is banger after banger. Such a banger soundtrack with tons of 50 Cent and G-Unit classic hits from back in the mid-2000s, early 2000s. Y'all need to check this game out if you haven't already. If you had an interest, do not sleep. There may be some later portions in the game that were a bit scuffed technically, graphically, with some hiccups and frame issues and cuts, but this game was a blast. Ropuka's Idle Island. It's cozy, it's chill, it's in the background on your desktop. It's something that you really just let play while you're busy doing your own thing, whatever you're doing. And it's actually kind of interactive whenever you do look over and see what Ropuka's doing. Whether Ropuka is cutting grass clippings, whether using them to collect gold tokens in order to unlock more forms of furniture for the island, or different updates for the grass, changing the color, and much more. There's even multiple pages of stickers that you can collect. And this game, the way I played it, my version of beating it was completely recreating the island, the idle island of Solace for Ropuka, and getting a whole new set of furniture and more. And at least a page worth of stickers, primarily the stickers I used for the furniture I used. If you want to complete this game, it's 210 plus hours of time. That's psychotic. So it would have been great if there was a general more variety in some of the items available. Yes, there was furniture, but there was also pets you could have in this game. There was only a couple, not really much, just 2. So I don't know. It seems very odd to have that as an option and you only have 2. Next up is Ruffy The Riverside. Now, one of my most anticipated games, that's an indie game of 2025, it definitely did not came and went. It came through. It had whimsy, creativity, It will bring you back to your youth as a kid playing 3D platformers like DK64, Rayman 2, Banjo-Kazooie, with an art style reminiscent of Paper Mario, an incredible soundtrack, and a really eclectic cast of characters, and a dope story too that all comes together with a really cool climax with a few twists and turns I didn't expect as well. A really unique gameplay gimmick that you get to utilize throughout the various puzzles as you copy and paste various elements of the world onto anything, and I thought it was really fun. I thought the gameplay didn't feel repetitive at all. I thought the gameplay size as a whole was pretty huge, but though around halfway through the game, I did feel the whole overworld was smaller than expected. However, I thought the game was really fun, all things considered. It was easily a game that surpassed my expectations as an indie game for 2025, and it was easily one of the best indie games of 2025. It was definitely an outstanding game. You definitely should not sleep. You definitely should check out Ruffy the Riverside. Next up is M.U.S.H.A, Metallic Uniframe Super Hybrid Armor. This is a game that I think some of you may know of if you're into the vertical shmup genre. For me, I've heard of it. I never got to play it until it was on the Sega Genesis Classics edition, the emulator that's on Nintendo Switch Online. I played it on Switch 2, and I thought it was really fun. It had a great soundtrack for each game. I thought how it was more of an anime mech aesthetic for a shmup was fun, and you get to use up to 3 various weapons you can pick up, like the fire weapon, electric laser, rotating shields, which would be nice if there was a little bit more variety in weapon choices that you get to pick up in these levels, but it was all right. It was good. I did, however, encounter some severe frame drops. I'm not sure if that was just in the emulator that I played. Obviously, the emulator I'm referring to was Nintendo Switch Online on my Nintendo Switch through the Sega Genesis app. So I'm not sure if the frame drops were reminiscent of how the game was back in the day when it released a long time ago on original hardware. However, the game had a cliffhanger that was never answered and is unlikely never going to be resolved. There's definitely not a lot of replayability, but it is a fun yet good challenge as a shmup that still holds up 35 years later. Next up, EX Zodiac. Now listen, what if Star Fox came back? Yes, Star Fox came back with elements of Panzer Dragoon, even Sin and Punishment, among many others in the rail shooter genre. You definitely, if that interests you, give EX Zodiac a shot. You'll be piloting your ship, going up against the antagonist, the Zodiac Legion, and they have their armed forces, and you need to take them down. There's the art style, sound design, fluid controls, reminiscent of all of those games I just mentioned that's inspired from, and it's brought together real well. When I primarily played EX Zodiac, I played in the high-res settings. I did not use the lo-fi 16-bit, so if anyone is put off by the old-school 16-bit style of the game, you guys can play in high-res mode, and the game looks so smooth. It's nice. I do feel the small amount of items in the game was not varied enough. I do, however, think it stuck with the inspiration so well and grasped some new ideas while creating its own universe too. Some accessibility would have been nice for anyone who is new to rail shooters. I'm not new to rail shooters, but if anyone is new to rail shooters, some accessibility options would have been nice for them. Next up, Umamusume Pretty Derby. Now, outside of what most would consider a normal game, this is more of a mobile game. I did play it on Steam. It's a game where you play as horses that are turned into humanoid anime girls, which, yes, I know, sounds wild. It's because it is. It is a bit of a grind fest, though. You can make it less of a grind fest if you pay microtransactions, but I did not at all. And there is a lot of story mode stuff. There is a lot of single player stuff that you can do. But as you play those single player mode stories, you eventually need to level up your horse or your team high enough to compete and get first place, or else you're gonna be grinding if you lose. So there's a lot to it. There's a huge contrast, kind of similar to Disney Speedstorm. There's some core stuff that's great, but the greed of the microtransaction stuff makes it a double-edged sword. It really does. But I usually, when I played this game, stuck with my main horse, my main stallion, Mihona Bourbon. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of other cool characters too, but the full gameplay experience would have been better if it did not need any payments, and the game is inspired by the anime. Alrighty, now Donkey Kong Bonanza, easily a generational defining game. One of the greatest 3D platformer sandbox games of all time. It's got genuinely the perfect culmination of everything that people love from the Donkey Kong series, callbacks from the country games, callbacks to 64 and many other games within the Donkey Kong series, to so many new characters coming into the fray, to old foes returning, like my favorite character. It was peak, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, this game was a 10 out of 10 through and through. Very, very, very minor flaws, but it was a genuinely peak experience. Still, I'm completing the game as we speak. I've been beating so many games this year, but I've been putting time into Bonanza still after beating it so I can complete it. That's how much I enjoy DK Bonanza, man. And the gameplay loop of the destructive gameplay, being able to destroy everything, was such a unique gameplay element and gimmick to throw into the game that I feel makes the game completely replayable, along with being similar to DK64 with a lot of things to collect. And I love that. The fossils, the Banandium gems, the CDs, and more. You guys need to check this game out, especially if you don't have a Switch 2. Buy a Switch 2. DK Bonanza is worth it for a Switch 2. And I'm not even kidding. I was in literal tears at the end of the game. If a game puts you to tears, that's how you know it's a generational defining game. It's likely in my top 5, top 10 games of all time as well. Next, we have Persona 5 The Phantom X. Persona 5 The Phantom X is just not what I or you probably want from a Persona game. I'll keep this as short as sweet as possible. It was full of potential, a mixed bag, has the core gameplay of Persona, but doesn't have as great of a cast. Also, similar to Umamusume Pretty Derby. And, oh man, it's just similar to Disney Speedstorm. It's more microtransaction heavy BS that makes another double-edged sword element. And I don't know. Do you care that you're playing as a character named Wonder? I don't know. Do you care that you encounter an owl named Lufel? I don't know. There's 2 arcs that were available when I played the game, and the Subway Slammer arc, I thought it was goofy, but I didn't think it was that great, and the arc after that was completely forgettable. The rating I gave the game at the time is definitely the rating I still feel. It's a very below average to average microtransaction game. It was not fun, and there was some things I thought were cool, like the classic Persona 5 stuff that was there, deep hidden underneath all the greedy bullshit. But man, if you're stuck on a boss or if you make a mistake, let's say you try exiting out of the game brings you back to the boss battle if you boot up the game. Absolute bullshit. Next up, we have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, most specifically Bardock Alone Against Fate. I played through Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and the way I'm playing through it is timeline order. So started off with Bardock Alone Against Fate expansion, and I was told this game is more of an RPG, and after playing this, that's some bullshit. It's not an RPG just because it has a skill tree. That's not how things work. Just because something has a skill tree doesn't automatically make it an RPG, and I thought it was really fun. You're playing as Bardock on planet Vegeta, trying to do the best you can before the inevitable end of planet Vegeta at the hands of Lord Frieza. You end up exploring all of planet Vegeta as well as another planet soon after, and as you level up, you progress in the skill tree, gain new abilities, and you also can fish and purchase items in game too. Now, my big issue was I didn't purchase enough items and or create enough food in game for the final battle, which was against Frieza. And the issue was you also had to face the Doria and a whole legion of Frieza's forces before Frieza. So if you lose, you need a reset. So like, you have to save your healing items until Frieza basically. And it was tough. It took me an hour or so to get through, but it was a lot of fun and I had a great time. It was so great that after beating that, I went to the Prince Vegeta expansion right after that. So in the Prince Vegeta expansion, compared to most of the other expansions, this is one of the shorter ones. It's pretty brief. It just caps at about 2 hours and plays Vegeta as a young prince. You start off going up against Kui, and Kui gives Vegeta a lot of shit. He hates the way Vegeta has so much pride, and Vegeta and his ego, I guess some may say, may consider otherwise. However, Vegeta, for a split moment in this scene, considered Kui his true rival. I literally cringed. I'm like, bro, we all know it's Goku. Anywho, we then see Vegeta and Nappa requested to go off to another planet to destroy the entire planet, take over it, destroy all of the enemies there. And that's what you do. And there's even a skill tree for this portion of the game, a 2 hour portion of the game. They give you a whole skill tree to go through to level up, man. I really, really love all of the effort that's put into this game and into each of these expansions too. Now, there is no direct way in this game to buy items in this expansion. You are able to create meals, and sleep at a campfire to recover at least. Next, Barrow GT. This was a free download off Steam. It's a racing game that you could play single player and race online. You have to get first place in all 21 of the racetracks in the main game. Now, the controls for this game, I'm not gonna lie, booty ba cheeks, they were ass. Okay, you have to use the right stick to drive. What? Right stick to drive? Insanity. Left stick to turn only. Now, after the first 5 races, I was able to get accustomed to the controls and get pretty decent at it, don't get me wrong, but some of the tracks were fun. A lot of the tracks weren't that good. Tracks 2, 13, 16, 17 were actually pretty fun. Tracks 3, 10, 14, 21, absolute drag. And track 14 took over 3-minute laps, 3 minutes per lap. Why? It was just an indie game, racing game, pretty weird. The graphics were very low quality. The palette swaps for the other rides you can pick up, they were literally just palette swaps. There's no difference, and it's playable, but it's not bad. I'll say that. And lastly, for how I beat 75 games so far in 2025, and for those y'all know, there's 2 more videos coming out after this within the next few weeks or so. I beat 100 games in 2025, but in this video I beat 75 games so far. The last one I'm talking about is another expansion from DBZ Kakarot, the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. It's the only expansion that takes place within the OG Dragon Ball era, and I loved it. Yes, there wasn't any flying in the gameplay, but I liked the more grounded fighting gameplay that this expansion had going for it. It brings you back to when Goku was fighting against King Piccolo, then fast forwards to the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, which you really just have to do a beeline for the tournament. There actually isn't a whole lot to do in this expansion around it, which is a bit unfortunate. Compared to the Bardock expansion, there was a few more side quests and stuff in comparison, but I had a lot of fun with the main quest, obviously, with the tournament. And then there's a portion where you get to play as Tien for a small story segment that was like 15-20 minutes, which was so sick, getting to go up against Mercenary Tao and train. That was cool. But overall, this was an amazing experience that reminded me of my time watching OG Dragon Ball in my childhood, and I can't wait to continue playing more Dragon Ball Z Kakarot throughout 2025 and onward into 2026. So that about wraps up how I beat 75 games so far in 2025. If you made it this far into the video, if you enjoyed it, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Never a single upload or live stream here on the main V-Subs channel. Consider donating to our community or joining our community in 100% click to get exclusive perks, emotes, access to our exclusive Discord, and more provided here on the main V-Subs channel. Thank you all so much. You guys can expect 2 new videos within the next 6 weeks. You will have a video going over how I beat 100 games so far in 2025, and I also have a tier list video going over all the games I beat, new and old, within 2025. And you guys can expect backlog videos going over 2026 at the end of every month. That's what I'm going to be doing next year. I'm going to try my best to do it at the end of every month or at the end of every 3 months. We'll see how I can do it, but I hope you guys stick around for the ride 2026 onward. 100% click Pam in the building. I will see you all next time. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.
Sips on the beat.
You know we got it in the bag, sips and bricks too. You see us coming in the jag, you know we keep it 100 proof. No, we gotta keep it 100, keep it 100 real true. Ay, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. I always grind, 100%. I always rhyme, 100%, 100%, 100%. I always grind, 100%. Bricks going back anytime on the track. We never slack, we always on attack. We got the pack in the back of the lack. Beyond the jag, all black, no Kodak. Putting cardiac, my rhymes on my neck. It sips brick season, this how we react. Days long, night, use insomniac. Count each block in each rack that we both stack. Ay, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. I always grind, 100%. I always rhyme, 100%, 100%, 100%. I always grind, 100%.